Patriots! And welcome to the Q Lounge Live. Hi, I'm your host, Shady Grooove, joined by my co-host at intheMatrixxx. It is just after 7 p.m. on the West Coast. It is 10 p.m. on the East Coast. It is Friday night, and Anons are winning the worldwide. Anons are winning everywhere on this wall. Hundreds of thousands of people coming to a conversation that a couple of years ago none of us would have even thought possible, guys. We really are bringing a conversation to the public that has not been discussed in a century. Things that are going on behind the curtain, guys. Who are the deep state? Where are the bloodlines? Where are they hiding? Who are they in your real world? They are showing themselves every single day, and we are on that wall every single day with my wonderful, wonderful co-host here at intheMatrixxx. I'm going to bring him in to speak to you right now, guys. Matrixxx, how are you doing, my friend? Tell me you're with me out there.
I am with you, man. I just, you know me and mute buttons.
How are you, my buddy friend? How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I just had this song caught in my head all day today. I just don't understand, man. It's a great song.
There is a great song out there.
Hey, Patriots, and I am so happy about this Q Lounge Live tonight. You know, as you know, you've got the infamous, the Shady Grooove with 3 O's on Twitter, and I love, I've been addicted to the Q Lounge Live. He is the one that got me out of my shell and onto a show talking about the Pacers that everybody's known about for decades, Shady, apparently. And but hey, I'm glad I know about it, guys, and I'm glad I met you, Shady, and I'm glad we're getting loud and being heard, and we should be proud.
Yeah, well, we're definitely making some noise out there. It seems like that some people are extraordinarily concerned about you and I and what's going on. But let me tell you something. We're going to get into a little bit of that tonight. I want to real quick say a shout out to all the great mods that are out here with us. Now, let me tell you something. These guys are going to be dropping you some sauce. They create the best moderated channel on YouTube, in my opinion, out there, guys. This is a real blessing for us to have these Patriots here to come to our program and help us. And just please don't hesitate to give them a lot of love out there, because they deserve it. And Matrixxx, you were just mentioning a little bit of that, and one thing that's right off the top here that we need to talk about, my friend, it is some special one's birthday today, and right now let's just have a little tribute.
I love it.
You have a disappointment, Mr. Trump.
Come on, give it to us, Anons.
Happy birthday, Mr. Trump.
You guys know the words.
Happy birthday. Y dice: Happy birthday, Mr. Trump. Happy birthday, Mr. Trump. Happy birthday, Mr. Trump. Happy birthday, Mr. Trump. Happy birthday, President Trump. Happy birthday, Mr. Trump. Happy birthday, Mr. Trump. Happy birthday, Mr. Trump. Happy birthday, Mr. Trump. Happy birthday, President Trump.
5-5, a big happy birthday going out to our president, Matrixxx. I couldn't resist playing that again. If you guys didn't see that on the Matrixxx Groove Hour earlier, well, we had to bring it in there tonight. 41020 Q plus DJT, the man of the century, in my opinion. Birthday is today, 6/14/46. Wow, what a day, Matrixxx. What a show we had earlier with Carly, right?
Oh my gosh, Carly's amazing. I love her laugh. Friday fun day with Carly. Oh my gosh, man, I'm telling you. So I really enjoyed her, and I really enjoyed Paul Saran on Thursday. So we are going to do a meme contest. We're going to have more information on that next week, guys. And the winner will be decided on Thursday's show. So stay tuned for that. And I just tell you, Shady, just very honored to be here with you guys. Very honored to be the most attacked Q person and people on the internet. And, we're going to be here for the people that are attacking us when they're ready, because this has nothing to do with anything but just America first. And it doesn't matter who you are. You're coming with us. Where we go one, we go all, Shady.
And that is the mantra, is it not, my friend?
That's what I get from the Q posts, and I've been reading these Q posts for a long time and rereading crumbs like most people don't. And what you get with Shady and Matrixxx on the Matrixxx Groove Hour, we look at news and we compare them to what we've already got. Right? Remember, we're supposed to have everything. And then we're supposed to learn the comms, as Shady has mentioned before as well, between our president and us, right? We were being taught these comms. There will be more Q posts, I guarantee you, but we have it already. We have it all. And when the POTUS tweets something like this, Shady, that's something to go look at, right, Shady?
It absolutely is. That's why I wanted to maybe start with this and go over it real quick at the beginning, because it happened since we were on the show earlier, and a lot of interesting things right here in this post, right?
There sure is.
I'm going to read it, and then I'm going to flip over to your thread there and let you talk about this just a second. Just spoke to Marilyn Houston, CEO of Lockheed Martin, about continuing operations for the Sikorsky of Coatesville, Pennsylvania. She will be taking it under advisement and will be making a decision soon. While Pennsylvania is booming, I don't want there to be even a little glitch in Coatesville. Every job counts. I want Lockheed to boom along with it. Now, a couple little imperfections there, right, Matrixxx?
Yes, there are. Let's see. What do we got there, Shady? What's the first thing that sticks out to you guys? To me, I see, Lockheed Martin, right? How do you spell Lockheed?
That would be the at LHEED.
Right. So you got an A and an E where an E should be, A where an E should be. That's
Correct.
interesting. And then, obviously we've got boom, we got to have the boom. What about where, Shady? Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania and Coatesville, huh?
Coatesville. Who do we, Coates? What's Coates, Shady?
Coates would be the last name of the DNI director, right?
Is that Dan Coates? DNI?
That would be Dan Coates, the guy that was taken flat-footed whenever Andrea Mitchell said that Putin was coming for a White House visit. You remember that?
Is that a boom?
I think this is a boom. This is a shot across the bow to the intelligence agencies.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so too. And
I think he's telling them directly.
And then, Shady, go check out the boom posts. There's 32 of them.
Yep, they're showing.
And the president,
I'm clicking on that right now.
2016, the president has actually tweeted boom 55 times now, guys. 55?
This was the 55th boom?
This is the 55th boom since he's been president, yes.
Well, there's quite a few booms. I'm not going to read all the Q posts of booms, but I am going to scroll down here and let you guys see how many there are to recognize, how much of this is comms to you, to see what we're talking about, what you're seeing in your news every day. We're going to get into some of the stuff that's going on, but this was put out by the president since the program earlier today. I wanted to show you guys, and Matrixxx put this together with the tweet that easily shows where all the booms are in the Q post. And look at this. I mean, this goes way back into the spring, even earlier. This is going back in time towards the beginning of the operation. Here we're at 317 booms everywhere in these posts, relevant to lots and lots of things per deep state. Now it's basically 1 page worth of stuff. And the first boom goes back to 3318. What I say, a class action lawsuit. When is it effective? Who controls the narrative? Who wrote the singular censorship algorithm? Who deployed the algorithm? Who instructed them to deploy the algorithm? Same embed across multiple platforms. Why? Why is the timing relevant? Where is Snowden? Why did ES leave? Eric Schmidt, Google. Why has North Korea gotten out of the news cycle? Define false flag. What events changed the news cycle? What didn't Las Vegas change the news cycle? Why? You have more than you know. Boom. First one that comes up past this, the context ones here. But anyway, really interesting to see how direct the president is being with this. I think, Matrixxx, and I saw you picked up on that right away and got that out there. And then you made us a couple other little videos here.
Yeah, I did just put the boom there underneath POTUS, of course. Then I made that one video. I don't know. I think we're going to have to figure out how to get louder and heard. So I made this video and dropped it underneath as a response to Donald Trump. And I didn't have all the information that we just went over now, because obviously, as you start thinking about a tweet and what it could mean with the 55 POTUS tweets, booms, 32 Q post booms, next week, boom. If you want to play the video real quick and just see if people like this, and maybe we'll continue to do something like this, Shady.
Well, I think they're going to like it, so I'm going to play it.
Hello, it's In the Matrixxx with 3 X's, intheMatrixxx with 3X's.com, youtube.com/c/intheMatrixxx with 3 X's on YouTube, Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Come check us out. Also, Q Lounge Live tonight, 10 p.m. Just spoke with Marilyn Hewson, our president writes, CEO of Lockheed Martin, about continuing operations in Sikorsky in Coatesville, Pennsylvania. She will be taking it under advisement and will be making the decision soon. While Pennsylvania is booming, I don't want there to be even a little glitch in Coatesville. Every job counts. I want Lockheed to boom along with it. Boom. Where have we seen boom before? Let's go ahead and right click, search Q post on intheMatrixx3x's.com. There's 32 booms. Look at this. Uh-oh. Boom. Boom time, Baker. Boom week ahead. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Guys, this is hilarious. This is awesome. America, America, God shed his grace on thee. Flag Day, flags out. Boom. Week ahead. Ronald Reagan quote. Boom, boom. Now comes the truth. They want you divided, guys. Divided by race, divided by religion, divided by culture, divided by class, divided by political affiliation. Divided, you are weak. Together, you are strong. Don't listen to the trolls. Ian Revolt. Look at all this stuff, man. Look at the booms. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. All right, I'm going to leave a link to this for you guys to check it out. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, week ahead. Boom, week ahead. Blackout necessary. Dark to light. Trusting the plan. Q Army. Boom, 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 boom. Did I say boom?
No.
Did I mention boom?
No.
Boom, 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 boom.
Did I say boom?
And that we have to play because the reality is this, everyone. What you're seeing is a movie, what you're seeing is a show, and what we're watching is the in-public takedown of a worldwide global deep state banking cartel that has been in control for a long time. They're not extremely happy with all of the shenanigans, are they, Matrixxx?
Nope, they're not happy at all.
So one other thing, before we jump into this over here, I wanted to show you guys this.
Shady, real
Army
quick, I wanted to say one thing real quick before you do that. Just go ahead and stop the share over here, okay?
Are you getting some lag over there?
We're getting some buffering out there, so just go ahead and, yep, perfect. And yes, this Q Army Japan thing, guys, we are worldwide, dudes.
We are worldwide.
The person that Q linked to right there, I have retweeted just recently, that is part of the Q Army Japan, guys. That person right there. God bless them. Shady. I mean, this is amazing. These guys are absolutely amazing. Anonymous Info out there has put a Twitter room together with all the Q Army Japan folks, and they are amazing. I stopped in there, and I think you stopped in there as well, Shady, to say hello. And
Absolutely.
They are just so gracious. We are so blessed to have them as part of the Q Army. And I asked them to, you can translate that tweet. And that's just, we are the Q Army Japan. That's it. That's what they are. And that's what we're blessed to have them. This is worldwide, Shady.
It absolutely is. And everyone, and we've said it over and over again here on the lounge, everyone is looking for freedom. We know that humanity is best suited to be left alone by government. So we're all looking for freedom, and we're all looking for a fair system that humanity benefits from. We are, in our natural environment, we're a thriving, abundant species, but under the control of global bankers, not so much. So that is the reason that you and I are the most attacked people on YouTube and the internet matrix, is because we're talking about what really matters. And I'm just going to have to say it out loud. There's not really a lot of other people on YouTube bringing you sauce on how the president is trying to connect you to the bloodlines every day. So that is what we are trying to do. We're trying to connect you guys to the cage that enslaves us. And so we feel like if we can identify the cage a little bit better, then maybe we can get more people to get up and out of it. So I'm going to kind of jump from there, Matrixxx. I'm going to jump over here. I wanted to show you guys this little piece from Tucker Carlson just yesterday, and then we're going to go into some more of the blueprint / architecture of the prison that holds you. So check this out. This is happening right now, guys. So this isn't, we're talking about something called communism. We're talking about what the deep state believes. Don't look no further. Let's just for real quick here, let's recognize the communists of which you should be afraid of are not in Russia. Okay, the communists that you should be afraid of, believe it or not, are right here among you, walking around, and a lot of them are telling you what your government should be doing. Believe it or not, they're here. They're not some far off land with Puff the Magic Dragon or something. Okay, guys, they're right here. So I want to play you this from Tucker. This was 6:13. This is last night. I'm going to give you a minute of this, maybe 2 minutes of this, if it'll play. I know we're buffering a little bit, but hopefully this will run.
Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez are making socialism the mainstream position of the Democratic Party all of a sudden. Some candidates, though, are going even farther than that. They want full communism right now. In the city of Denver, a woman called Candy Setibaka just won a seat on the city council. Setibaka says her political agenda is, quote, community ownership of land, labor, resources, and distribution of resources. That is, in a word, communism. Comrade Seti Baka said she's willing to bring it about, quote, and this is a real quote, by the way, by any means necessary. Now, it's possible she has no idea what she's talking about. It was just a rhetorical flourish, but you don't really know. Communists have been very literal about by any means necessary in the past. Just ask 50 million dead Russians and Chinese. We look forward to finding out what exactly Seti Baka meant. We'll follow her when she is inevitably elected to Congress the next few years. At least we hope that's where she goes. The alternative would be running a labor camp. Well, President Trump is touting his new agreement.
Just so you see this is not some sort of fringe thing. Bernie Sanders ran on socialism. He's not running on some sort of mock-up of, modern day socialism. He's running on socialism. Socialism is based in the idea that you have no control over your wealth. You have no control over what you can buy in the market. You have no control over what you can innovate. You have no control over what you can bring to the market. And they've been implementing socialism on us through a blueprint architecture for 150 plus years here in America, or more, maybe since the beginning of time, pretty much. They've been implementing this idea of control over you, control over your reality. And when I say your reality, I mean your day-to-day reality. You're not you're not free like you think you're free. They make you they present an environment where it looks like you're free, and where we would call a covert control as opposed to an overt control. An overt control would be something similar to what you see going on right now in China, and a covert control would be what you see going on right here in America, where you walk around thinking that you are free, when in fact all of your systems and your society work to imprison and misinform and poison you. And so that is what we've been digging into a little bit here for the last few weeks, and I've been it's been amazing to me to go back in some of this stuff that I read years ago, and how relevant it is, and how much positive feedback I've been getting from everyone out there. Thanks so much to everyone who's been giving me the positive feedback from going into some of this stuff and providing you the links to this, because I'm getting people coming to me on Twitter saying, wow, I was able to share this link with my dad, and my dad's friend remembered that he read this book, and how does it make sense now? And look at this, we are facing a coup d'etat. This is a coup d'etat in America. That is what the media is currently doing. They're lying to you to protect from you seeing that they participated in attempting to subvert a duly elected president, which the system was invented to prevent from ever rising to power and actually taking control of the military. So what you're seeing is the military precisely working with the president to remove this cancerous tumor, parasitic tumor that is socialism attached to us out there. So we're going to give you we're going to go in here. So, go ahead.
Shady, we got some person named Chewbacca telling us that they need to own all of us. I mean, what is going on with this world? You just can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, well,
Chewbacca. Get it? Sidabaka. I'm sorry. It was a bad
Chewbacca,
one, guys.
Chewbacca for the, right. Oh, now I got you.
Sidabaka.
It is kind of like Chewbacca. You're right. I was like, what kind of troll is that?
I know, man. I'm sorry. It's getting late here. I love you guys.
It's so funny. Yeah, and that is funny, man, because these people aren't they're not kidding around. They're really bringing this conversation to the public, and they're implementing this stuff. So whenever we go over and we start to look at some of this, right now I'm going to go over just a little bit of the introduction to the economic amplifiers coming from the Silent Weapons of Quiet Wars, and I don't really need to go in depth, and I really want to go further in depth with some of this than I do have time to do, because it's just extraordinarily interesting to me to look back. But let's just give a little bit of an overview here of some of the architecture, the blueprints for how we were set up to be controlled. Now, this isn't information from a year or two ago. This is information from a long time ago. So economic amplifier is the active component of economic engineering. The basic characteristic of any amplifier, or mechanical, electrical, or economic, is that it receives an input control signal and delivers energy from an independent energy source to a specified output terminal in a predictable relationship to that input control signal. The simplest form of an economic amplifier is a device called advertising. If a person is spoken to by a TV advertiser as if he were a 12-year-old, then, due to suggestibility, he will, with a certain probability, respond or react to that suggestion with the uncritical response of a 12-year-old, and will reach into his economic reservoir and deliver its energy to buy that product on impulse when he passes it in the store. An economic amplifier may have several inputs and outputs. Its response might be instantaneous or delayed. Its circuit symbol might be a rotary switch if its options are exclusive or qualitative, go or no go. Or it might have its parametric input-output relationship specified by a matrix with internal energy sources represented. Whatever its form might be, its purpose is to govern the flow of energy from a source to an output sink in direct relationship to an input control signal. For this reason, it is called an active circuit element or component. Economic amplifiers fall into classes called strategies, and in comparison with economic amplifiers, the specific internal functions of an economic amplifier are called logistical instead of electrical. Therefore, economic amplifiers not only deliver power, gain, but also in effect are used to cause changes in the economic circuitry. In the design of an economic amplifier, we must have some idea of at least 5 functions, which are the available input signals, the desired output control objectives, the strategic objective, the available economic power sources, and the logistical options. The process of defining and evaluating these factors and incorporating the economic amplifier into an economic system has been popularly called game theory. Game theory. Design of an economic amplifier begins with a specification of the power level of the output, which can range from personal to national. The second condition is accuracy of response, i.e., how accurately the output action is a function of the input command. High gain combined with strong feedback helps deliver the required precision. Most of the error will be in the input data signal. So I'm bringing some of this stuff to you because I want you to see this. This is how they developed your society right here. Questions to be answered. What, where, why, when, how, who. General sources of information, telephone taps, analysis of the garbage, surveillance, behavior of your children in school, standard of living by your food, shelter, clothing, transportation, your social contacts, telephone, itemized records of calls, family, marriage certificates, birth certificates, friends, associates, etc., memberships in organizations, political affiliations, then the personal paper trail that's created in this society, personal buying habits, personal consumer preferences, checking accounts, credit card purchases, tagged credit card purchases, UPC, Universal Product Code, assets. There you go. You can see this. Liabilities, government sources, welfare, social security, prison systems. Principle of the ploy. The citizen will almost always make the collection of information easy if he can operate on the free sandwich principle of eat now, pay later. So I like to refer to that as convenience once demanded has now become mandatory. In the sense that, there's municipalities out there that won't allow you to pay cash for your traffic tickets. I mean, you think that's odd? Internal Revenue Service, OSHA, Census, etc., other government sources of the surveillance of the U.S. mail, habit patterns, strengths and weaknesses, activities. So this right here, what you're seeing is how they engineered the ways to control you. And this goes right down into your political affiliations, your court records, the way they make you keep up with this stuff, the IRS, the way you're forced to keep up with all your expenditures and to pay the right amount of taxes. Guys, we weren't meant to have to pay an income tax. An income tax in America was not part of the plan. A Federal Reserve charging you interest on a loan was not the plan. That is the central bank. That is what Matrixxx and I are talking about all the time. And this is the blueprint for how that thing functions and how they lured you into this world of slavery under debt. Debt is slavery. It is not money. Your money that you look at, the Federal Reserve note, is a debt. It says for all debt, public and private. It is not a form of currency to be exchanged for gold or silver. So systematically, slowly over time, and we've talked about this a lot, about how they've removed your power. How they removed your power was by removing your wealth. And by removing your wealth, they remove your ability to function in society. And by removing your ability to function in society, they're able to steal your land and pull you into the cities and then make your future generations dysfunctional and unable to earn an income or to be successful or to innovate or to accrue or keep, pay taxes on, keep, reinvest. At every turn, you're turned off from those ideas. And so with that, showing you some of that, and the guys out there probably have already dropped you this info, and it goes deeper into the TV, how the TV controls you, junk food, the diversion, the schools. It all agrees. It agrees. If everything keeps agreeing, just like everybody agreed that Mr. Trump wasn't a great idea for candidate, every single human on the earth in front of a TV camera agreed that he wasn't going to be the president. Well, that didn't really work out. So that's what anons are doing here. We're here to break this system. And the only way we're going to break this system is for us to come together and actually discuss what the system is that's enslaving us. And I think that more than anything to me is what is important in this movement, is for us to start learning to coordinate, guys. And Matrixxx and I really are putting a huge emphasis on this, the ability for us to work and coordinate together. Just this week, we had Dustin Nemos on, we had Paul Saran on, we had Carly on today. We've been showing you anon artists' work who are doing wonderful memes and GIFs and all this stuff that paints a picture of freedom. It's painting the picture of freedom for the future, and I can't imagine a more noble cause, and that is what we are doing every day, and that is what our mission is here, guys, and you will never see us deter from that mission. I know there's a lot of hubbub out there, there's a lot of talk, a lot of people telling you all kinds of stuff, and the only thing I can tell you is that the truth is for you to know, and it is for you to find out. I am not going to, neither of us are going to spoon feed you anything that you don't want to learn. If you are willing to learn and if you're willing to come to a conversation about anything, then we are more than willing to show you what it is that we're looking at. But at this particular juncture in the Q movement and what's going on with the president, you don't really need a lot of new Q information. What you need to be doing is you need to be plugging in the old Q posts with the current president tweets, or with the tweets of a few other people that are connected that are very interesting. And the stuff that we're seeing is the old guard telling you straight up that the president is destroying their democracy, and that is exactly what I'm doing. I'm here to destroy the idea that they control and wield power over a democracy that has anything to do with America. It is not a democracy. It is a constitutional republic. It is not a mob rule, mob wins organization that we have put together here. We have an electoral college that protects the different levels. We have 3 branches of government that protect against each other. There's created tension between those that has been eroded by nefarious characters for the last, however many years, 100 years. That is being now all of a sudden that Donald Trump is the president. We don't want the executive branch to have all this power that we've been slumping onto the presidency, especially since the Patriot Act. They don't want him doing the same things that they were doing to you. How interesting is that? Why so scared whenever the president starts saying things like, we want to go back to a paper ballot? Why does that make them nervous? Why is that any big deal? Well, the digital machines, they don't work so great. They're easily manipulated. People can hack them in 3 minutes, maybe people even less. So let's just go back to the paper ballot. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. In my opinion, it's not that big of a deal. We got paper. We still make paper. So let's punch them out on cards again. And then let's actually get some counting. And then let's make some people who have to fill out a census tell us if they're an American citizen or not. I don't have a problem with that. And the idea that these clowns, and I'm going to start calling them clowns, and that's exactly what they are. The president has made us a circus, and now we're watching the clowns. We're enjoying the show. Think about that for a second. Think about what you're seeing happen in the media with all these talking heads, whether it be McCabe, Comey, Brennan, all of them. McCabe was on CNN last night. John Brennan still gets to go off on CNN. These people are communists. I'm not going to mince words. They're not misinformed. No, They are communists. They believe in socialism. They believe that the state should control you. They believe that they should have every bit of information they can possibly find on you. And what you're seeing out there in the Anon world is you're seeing a layer that's doing the same thing to Anons. You're seeing you're seeing this out there, Matrixxx. I mean, what's the difference?
Shady, real quick, I want to show you tell you one thing. I was watching Hannity. It was a special guest. I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about, who's watching this on C-SPAN? I mean, geez, it's like the clown show over there. All these, interviewing the guy that has nothing to do with, with this investigation. They want to do a redo investigation. It's like Clown Town, and he called it a clown show. I mean, so it is seeping. And yes, these same trolls are doing the same thing to President Trump. They're doing the same thing to Q people, Shady. I mean, yeah, it is a clown movement, man.
Right. It's a fractal representation, right? Whatever we're seeing on a micro level, we're seeing on a macro level. They don't have. If you and I, Matrixxx, if you and I are talking in a transparent method or in a transparent way about what Q is saying to you, I'm not adding anything to what Q. This is what Q is saying, and this is what the president is saying, and we're going to mash these two together. We're going to make sense of it, or whatever. That is transparency. What the news is doing is they're taking the information that's coming in and they're sitting in a little room and they're writing it all down and like, how do we present this the best? Oh, don't show this or show this or this is a presentation that is hidden from you like some sort of show. So they're hiding behind the curtain. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to present information to you that's in the forefront that says, look, this is what people in the past were telling us. Look at how much stuff we've saw, Matrixxx, for the last 100 years. How many people tried to tell us? They were telling us.
I mean, we've been warned over and over and over.
So many people now, especially since we started digging into this stuff, you see it over and over and over. Like how many people like, Welch and McCarthy and not even to talk about current folks like Tex Moss,
Eisenhower,
Cooper, Eisenhower, right? They were John Kennedy. They were all trying to say, look, the historical record is there, but somehow we were convinced that they didn't exist.
Did I warn you guys at all, Shady?
No, you never warned us.
I didn't.
No,
you mean I did all these nefarious things and got impeached, and you guys didn't believe them?
No, you wouldn't even agree.
You guys are stupid. You guys are stupid. I don't even know it. How do you define sexual relations? I can't believe you guys fell for that. God, the media is really good, aren't they, Shady? They're really good at what they do. But these Anons now, I'm a little afraid of you guys. I'm afraid that there is a great awakening.
See that? Even Bill Clinton is afraid, guys. Bill Clinton is afraid because of the stuff that you are all talking about.
You guys found out I'm a rapist, for crying out loud.
I'm not sure that your wife isn't behind some of the attacks, Bill.
Oh, thank you, Shady. She's a little crazy. She likes. I don't even want to get into that.
So I'm going to jump over here to connect what we were just showing you guys with a little bit of the structure of how they created your life to have all this nutty stuff to keep up with all the time, which really you shouldn't have to keep up with. Here we have the English philosopher Thomas Hobbes noting that freedom is government divided into small fragments. Woodrow Wilson, before he became the tool of the insiders, observed, "This history of liberty is a history of the limitations of governmental power, not the increase of it." And the English historian Lord Acton commented, "Power tends to corrupt, and absolute power corrupts absolutely." And even though these men lived after our Constitution was written, our forefathers understood these principles completely. But what is happening today? As we move leftward along the political spectrum towards socialism, all the reins of power are being centralized in the executive branch of the federal government. Much of this is being done by buying with legislation or with free federal grants all the other entities. Money is used as bait, and the hook is the federal control. The Supreme Court has ruled, and in this case quite logically, that it is hardly lack of due process for the government to regulate that which it subsidizes. If you and your clique wanted control over the United States, it would be impossible to take over every city hall, county seat, and state house. You would want all power vested at the apex of the executive branch of the federal government. Then you would have only to control one man to control the whole shebang. If you wanted to control the nation's manufacturing, commerce, finance, transportation, and natural resources, you would need only to control the apex, the power pinnacle, of an all-powerful socialist government. Then you would have a monopoly and could squeeze out all your competitors. If you wanted a national monopoly, you must control a national socialist government. If you want a worldwide monopoly, you must control a world socialist government. That is what the game is all. Communism is not a movement of the downtrodden masses, but it is a movement created, manipulated, and used by power-seeking billionaires in order to gain control over the world, first by establishing socialist governments in the various nations, and then consolidating them all through a great merger into an all-powerful world socialist super state, probably under the auspices of the United Nations. Balance of this book will just outline how they have used communism to approach that goal. Now, Matrixxx, now doesn't this just go right back into what you and I have been on this fence talking about, and what would we call that? The old antitrust / trust monopoly merger communism. So this right here is telling me that communism is monopolies.
No way.
Who would have thunk it?
I think we would have. Anon's thunk it. The Anons here in this room know all about the trust the plan, Q's gavel, and trust, but you won't find it anywhere else, Shady.
And that is the reason, because the socialist underbelly of America that is out there, that is lurking in the Democrat Party mostly, are not wanting anybody to see this. They're not wanting people to connect. Socialist government is already here. They want you to think that it's something coming in the future. Now, Anons, Q, POTUS, they're here to tell you otherwise. The reason for this whole thing, my opinion, is to get us up to speed on what it is that's going on in our government. We're not running from the communists that are in South America or Mexico. The communists are in your government. They're called a bureaucracy. Yep. Trump refers to them as a swamp. We like to say the Fed / bloodline / the P word.
Pesur.
And that's
trusts.
That's the word we prattle about.
That's what we're prattling on. And, you know, POTUS with the AT&T tweet missing the P, we found that AT&T is giving the United States of America president free communication forever, but they're also allowed to make profit on it. AT&T, 1870s, Pesur company, by the same 3 railroads that opened up and started the Federal Reserve. Also, guys, remember what government means. Just the very words, the etymology of the word gubernare. Gubernare is to control, and mente is the mind. So the very word government means mind control, guys.
And there you have it in a nutshell. Where does government eventually lead? Where would it lead whenever we had people like James Comey and Robert Mueller in the meetings when they were drawing up the Patriot Act, telling all the concerned congressmen and committee members who were there when they were doing this that the intelligence agencies promised to never misuse information against American people, and we promised to never weaponize the intelligence agencies against any American, even though we side-handedly may have to collect some evidence here and there. We had James Clapper testifying that they do not collect any information on you. Bold-faced lies to protect what? They keep telling you you can't see this information because it's classified, whenever it's what? It's protecting them. And now we know that Comey and Brennan and all of these people in your media, the top positions of media, are what? They are the pinnacle people in the communist organizations that are controlled. Whether it be Adam Schiff or whoever they are, these people are agents, Pesur agents, agents of the trust, agents of the monopoly, agents of the deep state, same, agents of the church, same, Red Cross, Switzerland, agents of the what? Agents of the trust, guys. This is not right here. What you're seeing here is not old or not new art. This goes back to the turn of the century. Talking about this is a picture that I just wanted to show you because I think it's very interesting. I love going back and look at these old cartoons. These people knew what they were talking about. These people knew what the government was doing to them, and they weren't afraid to put it in the newspaper. But then once they took over all the newspapers and all the radio stations, once the radio stations came and invented all the TV stations, then, until
there was a lot of us's before 1913, Shady. They were trying to figure it out. There were a lot of patriots out there trying to figure it out before it happened. And unfortunately, Here we are
Unfortunately,
today fighting again.
Right. Unfortunately, they didn't have the communication tools that we have right now because even things like the income tax was passed and people pay their income tax, well, it was never actually ratified. So, no one has the communication skills. What we have to do, our job, I think, as Anons, is to implement a system where we categorize and where we log all this information and where we make it where it can never go away again in America. We make people who are elected accountable in a modern way right now, not accountable like they were in 1776, accountable today. There's no reason we can't have an internet page for every representative that shows exactly what they vote and where they voted and why they didn't vote. And if you're the person in your district is not voting or not voting the way that you want them to vote, then why isn't it, a notification on your phone, Matrixxx? Like, oh, my representative just voted against my interests. That seems easy.
Yeah. And they don't have to really answer to you. I mean, they're more afraid, and that's what breeds tyranny when the government doesn't fear the people and it fears the people above them more than it fears the people that elected them. So when, that's how tyranny breeds, guys. They're not afraid of us. We're the useless eaters to these people.
At 5'5", you couldn't have said it. I couldn't have said it better myself. That's exactly the way. That's exactly the way they view us, and I don't think they're going to stop viewing us that way until they are until they're in a position to where they're weak. That they are so afraid right now because they're strong and they see that all their systems are going away. And we do discuss some pretty unbelievable information, guys. Like, whenever we start to really dig into what's going on below the surface, under the surface of the planet, where do 10-12 million children go every year? Why can Americans somehow not keep up with 300,000-400,000 kids here every year? It's not happenstance. Politicians are not dummies. They're not up there doing stupid things that are against your interest by happenstance. And it doesn't ever, Matrixxx, does it ever work out into your favor? Like
never.
The mistakes they make kind of never work out to your favor, do they?
No, and they're just throwing poop against the wall to see what sticks too, and they are panicking. They are bumping around each other. They are eating their own, up to and including the senators in the House, and they're all bumping in. They're trying to figure themselves out for their election on the Dem side and the Rhino side, because remember, the swamp is red and blue. Okay, guys, let's just be honest and quit, lollygagging. The never Trump thing never went away, Shady. So we've got to make sure, and this is what we have got to do, Shady. We've got to get Donald Trump elected for 2020. We've got to know who he wants in with him so he can work with them. We need people to understand who everybody is from bottom to top, guys, from our local government to our state government to our federal government. And we need to really pay attention, every one of us, wherever you are, find out who the MAGA candidates are and spread the word locally.
And another thing, and I'm so glad you made that point, because I did want to talk to that just a second. Like, get to know, like, in your local, like, start to plug into your local races. Like, go to your local candidate and meet them, speak with them. You don't have to tell them, oh, what do you think about Q or anything? But you just speak with them and say, what are your concerns? Like, see if you can get a legitimate feel for them, and that's the way that we can really plug in. And we're going to pay extra attention to the president, and I think that he has a really good idea of who is the fake MAGA. Even on the Republican side, there's quite a large number, Matrixxx, of those guys over there that are, they're not afraid to talk impeachment a little bit over there sometimes. So the right in America is not all behind Trump, guys. Trust us.
Yeah, that's very true. And, we had that little theory again today, Shady. I don't know if you guys want to go back and listen to that, but, Shady and I were talking last night and just kind of, spitballing a little bit, because that's what we do. We try to figure out what the plans are, what's going on, what's happening in real time, so we can help show you what's going on, and what could be happening through Q's posts and the actions from, the actual people that are in the posts, right, including our president. And, you almost wonder, and Shady brought this up, and I'm pretty impressed, you wonder if they really want him to get to go to the impeachment hearing to inject the evidence. How do you inject evidence? How do you inject all that evidence, guys? Well, maybe the president gets to be on the stand in the House where the Senate is the key and they're the jury. Cue the trials. Interesting, guys. I'm just wondering if that's how we get all this evidence entered into the discussion, guys.
And it really does, we know he could drop this information at any time, right? So he's stalling. Yeah. He's not doing it. He's trying to make them make some sort of irreparable move. It seems to me. Maybe that's not impeachment, but it's something that he thinks they're going to do that is going to flatten all the tires before we put out the information that keeps them completely stalled. They can't go. They're not going to be able to go anywhere.
That's why, and we looked at some other posts too. I mean, he's warning us, don't worry. President is insulated, mathematically impossible, 2/3 the vote. But, there is Q post 1182 on 4/19/18 that says, we have everything. How can we use what we know? How do you legally inject, make public, use as evidence what you are witnessing? What are you witnessing unfold? Trust the plan. Q. And then there's a response to that. Executive order, treason, update, read, study the EOs, follow the pen, EOs post pen pics, connect, learn, sky event, Q. So that's, how do you legally inject? We have everything. How do you legally inject, make public / use as evidence? It's interesting, dudes.
And I really think that there's something more to this, something that he is waiting for. Like, there's a trigger point, like the whatever it is. If he wants them to open impeachment hearings and then bam, we declass, or whatever the moment is, he's waiting for them to do it. A lot like, man, we've been waiting for a while for a person in the press to ask who is Q, haven't we? We're really gonna have to force it. They're gonna have to ask somebody other than Miss Sanders, because unfortunately she is leaving, which is really, that is terrible, because I love that lady.
Mike Huckabee said that she knows where the bodies are buried today.
Let's
interesting.
Let's see if we can maybe get her to run for office, because I'm telling you what, man, the amount of fight and love for America that woman has is astounding. And to see, I don't know if you saw the president. Did you see the president telling her goodbye and announcing that she was leaving? He was, man, that tension, that electricity, that love, you can't fake that stuff, man. What we've been watching in politics for the last 40 years has been absolutely fake. You can't fake that. My opinion.
Absolutely. You can't fake that. And, if press secretary is listening, which I'm sure she is, Shady, we would love to have you on the Matrixxx Groove Hour or the Q Lounge Live. Pick your one. And we would love to have you on this show. Watch as this show gets bigger, guys. Just watch. I guarantee you, you ain't seen nothing yet.
That's right, man. We're gonna keep hammering them out, and now we're going to kind of take what we just learned about the infrastructure and what communism is and who the communists are. Now let's pivot that into this idea of the monopolies, and this is going to be referencing from let's see, where am I at here? I'm trying to remember what I'm even looking at. U.S. Archive here to get a. Move off. This is about standard. General Sherman was a relative of the Paysor Betty family. By marriage, the family set up the Sherman up in business in New Orleans as a teacher of economics, and then he turned on the families. I guess he was a wee bit jealous of the family's wealth and became quite spiteful and wrote the first antitrust act and got it passed into existence with the intentions of making it rough on the Paysor family. To this dismay, he played right into the family's plots and plans in getting the bills passed, because all they did was change the names of the corporations, move around, regroup. The owners stayed the same. Names were changed to protect the guilty. It was a test to see if they could keep the real ownership hidden, and it worked. And it has also kept competition from encroaching on their monopolies that were actually grandfathered in by this act until the 1970s, when Congress passed the Interstate Commerce Act, 1913. And then one thing we're not going to go into about the Interstate Commerce Act, but that does kind of identify you as a human being as the enemy of the state. But we're not going to dig too much deeper into that. To start getting a working idea of how these monopolies came about, let us take a brief look at how the three targeted companies evolved and where they are today. We'll begin with Armour Meatpacking, 1862. Tracks of Gastonia Cherryville Railroad blown up. Parts were used for war implement. The Kahana and Marion Railroad were removed, used to build the ironclad ship, the Merrimack. You guys remember the Merrimack? Cherryville was the site of the railroad arsenal of the Confederacy. So with no railroad to serve it, the arsenal was relocated 17 miles to the north at Lincolnton, North Carolina. With the arsenal at Lincolnton and with no food to eat, the Confederacy started slaughtering the animals to feed the troops. The company which was formed to accomplish this was called the Armory Meat Packing Company. Later to be known as Armour Meat. You guys still eat that stuff? Okay. Armory Meat Packing Company operated on the Paysword Plantation at Lincolnton, North Carolina, at the site of Lincolnton, Iron County, formerly Lincolnton Tin and Iron Company, not county, which then became known as Carnegie Steel. The deal was that Carnegie would run Carnegie Steel as a front man for the Pacers and would receive 5% at 95%, and Paysword 95%, and all was set up in a 99-year lease to run from June 1894 to 1993. Then the Springs family stole control of the lease. Lincolnton Iron Company split up, was part known as Carnegie Steel, and became known as Pullman Standard Company. So this gives you an understanding of how these businesses, they still do it today. They'll completely shut down in this name, close the company down, declare bankruptcy, and then they pop back up over here, and then all of a sudden their assets are all right over here, and nothing even does anything, and that company is not really going to pay you anything for what they owe. Little slide and move around. So, this is just a pattern. We're just trying to show you the patterns here. And we're going to get into this next paragraph. The records of the Selma, Rome, and Dalton Railroad Company of New York. Let me say, the records of the Selma, Rome, and Dalton Railroad Company of New York companies comprise 1/3 of the Sherman Antitrust Act. Sherman Antitrust Act, who's been talking about that? If you were to go and find the records of the Selma, Rome, and Dalton Railroad, you could start putting the puzzle together for yourself and see how it changed even the Standard Oil Trust, a divestiture of the Sherman Antitrust Act, and became Exxon Oil, owned by the railroad company Louis Cass Pasteur, never by the Rockefellers. See this, everyone? The Selma, Rome, and Dalton Railroad Company changed its name to become known as Alabama Mineral Land Company of New York with J.P. Morgan to become the head trustee of the Pasteur frontman. He was to take 5%. So this is over and over again. This
But Shady, didn't everybody know this for decades?
No, I thought that this was this was just right out there in the conversation, and everybody's been talking about this. Is this
at
unusual?
The dinner table? You hear people whispering at the movies they're talking about. I hear them all the time. You're prattling, Shady.
Right. It's just,
this is amazing stuff, guys.
It's just much ado about nothing. Every single, the sugar lobby, the meat
this
lobby.
Is absolutely amazing.
Everything that you're eating.
Because we've got the sugar companies here in Florida, and they've been harming our water for their own gain, and now we know why. All the forests are owned by the Paceurs. In fact, when I was doing the research on the Paceurs, I noticed Q's checkerboard has to do with the railroad companies, dude, the chessboard. Yes. There is so much more to this, and nobody's digging on it. If you guys want to dig in on it, because there's more. We haven't found everything yet, guys. We have not found everything, but I'm telling you right now, Nancy Pelosi, I dropped the video of, Nancy Pelosi tonight was at the CFR. The CFR is like a big party, a group of people for the trustees of Pasteur businesses, guys. This is how big they are. It's no joke. And they are satanic. The Rothschilds are the satanic cult leaders. It goes Rothschilds, church, P. Okay, that's the hierarchy. P is not Pindar. They might believe in a Pindar, and that's a whole nother rabbit hole in of itself. Right. But the Paceurs, who are actually here on this, realm with the money buying everything, they bought the Vatican. They formed the trust called the United States of America and Body Politic from the Virginia Trust Company. Guys, this is huge. It's not known, and this is what we're talking about. This is why the Daily Beast 666 wants to attack me. This is why people want to attack us. We're talking about this satanic. We've got more evidence that the Catholic Church is a cult than anything else in this world right now. They're pedophile priests, guys.
Yep.
What are we doing?
We have let the enemy in, Matrixx, and that's like, we've been inundated almost like you would consider the, Troy or the Trojan horse, and that is kind of what has happened here. And waking people up to their mentality, the mentality that goes back to the central control of all systems goes back to their ideas. Yeah. Communism isn't,
Absolutely.
It is real.
And Shady, I want to make sure that I say that does not mean that Catholic people are evil. Okay,
no, it doesn't.
It does not mean, if you say that Israel government is corrupt, it does not mean that Jewish people are evil. And you're not. We have a corrupt government here in America. We're trying to get rid of it, right? That's what we're trying to get rid of worldwide. And we've got to let our old guard thoughts and opinions kind of go. We've got to open our mind. We've got to expand it. And that's the hardest part. And you're going to get attacked for it.
And the divisions, this is what I'm trying to show you is I'm trying to show you that communism is Luciferianism, is division, is darkness, is the lie, is what is trying to prevent you from seeing the truth. The truth is the light. And everything counter to that is hiding it from you. It's really so simple. And everyone wants to make things so unbelievably complicated. Well, the reason it's become complicated is because the conversation has been deteriorated. And we're not talking about the simplicity anymore. I think, Matrixx, the reason that you and I work so well together is because we bring things to each other's perspective or to each other's attention with simplicity each time. I'm not trying to bring you a bunch of complicated things. I'm like, wait a minute. Yeah, see this. This is what I'm looking at. How do you see that without me telling you what I think about it? I want you to see it first. I want to get your opinion.
Yeah.
And then I want to interact, right? And then it goes back and forth. And we're like, oh, well, then this is that. And then we start to see something else that we couldn't have seen if we were trying to tell each other, I was trying to tell you, hey, you should think this, Matrixx. This is how you should see it. It doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't. And I've learned from my own personal experience, like, for example, I've listened to Alex Jones. I've never agreed with him 100%, but he told you a lot that was true. And what I did is I went and said, this is what he said. This is what I found. Well, I'm going to think this way. I don't need somebody to tell me how to think. I don't need like a Neon Revolt or a War Drummer or anybody else to tell me how to think. And I don't need them to lie about me, about what I want to do. And I want to talk about these satanic bloodlines that you're hearing about right now to people that want to hear the truth. And I think everybody deserves the truth.
Absolutely.
That's why we're attacked, guys.
That is exactly
why we're attacked.
And that is exactly why, that's what we're trying to bring your attention to is all of this stuff. This is not the reason it's hard to discuss is because it's not modern history, man. We're trying to go back. We're trying to bring people back to a conversation 90 years ago, Matrixx. I mean, we're trying to bring people back to that conversation, and it was your parents, maybe even your parents who knew the Pacers then, who were more than likely a lot of the red-pilled people that find themselves in our audience right out here, Matrixx, I would venture to guess that a lot of their older ancestors were just as concerned about this stuff in America as you and I are right now.
Yeah.
Because I think
absolutely. And all these people out here. And, with what Shady and I were saying too earlier is, I've always had this quote before Q, the truth is learned, it's never told. And Q even says people are running around not corroborating evidence. They're listening to a bunch of lies about our president. Remember about Kavanaugh, about our president today, about Q people. And people are believing these lies without corroborating the evidence themselves. And that's why I can tell you facts from here to Washington, D.C., but I don't want you to believe me. I want you to look it up so you can believe yourself.
Absolutely, man. And I really couldn't say it any better. I mean, I honestly could not say it any better, but this is the same thing. The people who believe in Luciferianism or Satanism are the communists. They want destruction. They want lies. They want deception. They do not want you to see or understand the truth of your history, and they do not want you to see or understand the truth of your current reality, which is that you are a beautiful, beautiful creation on this wonderful, beautiful planet that we get the opportunity to walk on. There is nothing wrong with you. You are being controlled, and you are being corralled, you're being culled, you are being systematically deteriorated. I mean, we have, Matrixx, there's this huge discussion that's been going on in America about abortion for decades, and really contentious issue, pro-life and pro-choice and all of this massive confusion. It's escalated, and we're going to go into a couple things that's extremely disturbing here in a few minutes, but it really did. I was kind of trying to just take a minute with this conversation and recognize like how our society would have evolved if they never took the gold. If they were never able to get the gold in 1933 and America didn't respond to them saying that we had to turn in all of our gold, and then they bought it all for half price, and then, and it was worth $20 an ounce. They bought the gold at $10 an ounce in 1933. By 1940, the price of gold was at 40, and then it never looked back of the escalation, and that's how they stole your wealth. So looking at back now and say, oh, how had everyone's families evolved had everyone had enough? The families back then were huge here in America because why? Because you had enough. So are we in this debate on abortion and on all of the stuff because of were they able to implement a system where they can harvest more by taking your money away? Think about that for a second. Who is harvesting what? What are they doing with what they're harvesting? Anons, no. Truth is not for everyone. But how would you, a problem reaction solution going back 100 years, how would you gain access to this type of material? You would steal the money and you would make people think that they couldn't afford to have a family. And you would make people think that they didn't have enough to sustain themselves, much less a family. And you would make people think that if you have children, they're going to be dysfunctional and they're going to tear you apart. And you would make all of this stuff. Look at all this contention that comes around it. When in reality, if the dollar had even 30% of the value that the dollar had in 1933, none of us would be having a conversation about money. None of us would be having a conversation about he has and I don't. None of us would be throwing people in jail or willing to go to jail because we needed to steal something, because earning our way isn't impossible. We have to recreate the society that we should have had, and we have to envision that society that we do want, and then we have to live in that decision making of what we know is true. And if we can do those things together, Matrixx, and all of you guys come into this conversation, I'm telling you, we can move mountains. We can move mountains together easy, because these people, these things that we're chasing, and I call them things, creatures, whatever you want to call them, whatever they are, they're not us. And whatever they're doing, it's not what any of you guys or none of us want to do. So their numbers are so little. And Matrixx and I have talked about this quite often. All we got to do is wake everybody up. And that's why they don't like you, Matrixx. That's why they don't like you talking about the stuff, because what you're doing is you're saying things in a simple manner that people can understand.
It's like this, right, Shady? You believe yellow. I believe green. Trickster believes red. Catherine believes blue. And you're allowed to. But when it comes to this country, we need to take all of that and put it aside and allow this country to be free so that you can believe in what you believe in. And that's okay. Because that's what General Flynn fought for. That's why the Army is as old as it is today. What is it, 244 years old? Yep. I can't remember, but today, happy birthday, U.S. Army. They all fought for you. They fought for Muslim Americans, Jewish Americans, Hindu Americans, Catholic Americans, Protestant Americans, whatever you may not believe in, Americans. But the key word is Americans.
Man, that is the key word. And that is something that they hated.
Now listen, Edward says, please don't align yourself with con artists, cult leaders like Ram the AKJ Knight. Look, Edward, go do your real research, Edward Troll. We're not aligning ourselves with anybody. We're talking about the truth to people that want to listen. Go ahead and Shady, just if anybody wants to set us up at a talk somewhere else instead of complain, we'll be there. Let's go.
Well, I mean,
freedom, guys.
It's okay because people are reading things that are not true and they are spinning them.
It's absolutely right.
Into the same into the same thing that are the same people attacking us, the people attacking her. And it's been going on for a long time. This cabal does not want us exposing this. I'm going to speak about the Pesur. Let me paint it like this. People are having a hard time painting this. I want to paint a picture.
What are we going to talk about, Shady? What are we going to talk about? Tell them.
I'm going to paint a little picture out right here. When was the last time? I'm going to turn on your hypothetical brain here, and let's see. When was the last time in America? Let's say in America. When was the last time anyone got up on a stage in front of people and presented information about the Pesur Trust and its family connections? I can't imagine anyone's done it since Fritz Springmeier. And before that, who was doing it?
Maybe even
Bill
Ike.
Cooper?
I don't know if I've Bill Cooper. I don't know if you mentioned the Pesurs yet, though. But yeah.
So no one's really doing this. And so Q confirmed that P is Pesur, and someone has invited us to come and speak about the satanic bloodlines. And people consistently writing articles on me telling me how that is a satanic bloodline, wanting me to come expose the satanic bloodlines. You guys have got to stop it.
Right.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you look ridiculous out there. I'm sorry for all the people that want to read people who write articles sauce who have a hard time actually researching their material. But trust me, Matrixxx and I have done our research.
I am not a used car salesman. I've never been a used car salesman, Shady.
And I'm glad that
I was a corporate executive.
To bounce into that for a second, because right here is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about treason, guys. We're talking about treason on our country. We're talking about the people usurping.
Hey, Shady, move your screen over just a little bit, brother.
Is it not showing?
Okay, perfect.
There we go.
No, it's perfect now. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I see it. So we're talking about treason. We're talking about 2381 is the U.S. title code for treason, guys. This is what we're talking about. We're talking about a worldwide global cabal that attempted to usurp and oust a duly elected president from the United States. The mainstream people out there like Daily Beast aren't really excited that I'm connecting treason, right here, 2381, treason, to Q post number 2381, treason. Okay, Q post 2381, treason, right here on your screen. Now, hopefully this might not come up full. Hopefully it does. It might not. Where is that? Come on. Look at all the treason in this Q post, right here. Top to bottom, Rubicki, Baker, Prestep, Struck, all treason, treason, treason. This is Q-Post 2381. And you guys want us to focus on anything else than this? We're not gonna. I'm focusing on these people who are protecting the bloodline interests, who have been the blockade, quote unquote, blockade in our government for decades to prevent any case from moving forward on any company that has anything to do with the trust, the Pesur Trust that is there to be uncovered. The Anons are deciding that they're not really wanting to look at it right now. Matrixxx and I are actually going to go stand in front of people and talk about it in the real world, and we're not going to do it just one time. If you think that this is a one-time thing, trust me, it's not a one-time thing, guys. We're bringing Q mainstream. We're taking Q mainstream. I'm not going to stay on Twitter. I've got out of the echo chamber of Discord. I've gotten out of the echo chamber of Twitter. I'm going to get out of the echo chamber of YouTube, and I'm going to get out of the echo chamber of predetermined dogma. I do not bring any of my particular personal beliefs to a lot of this conversation for a reason. My beliefs are not important in this conversation. What's important in this conversation is this: treason. Treason is important in this conversation. This is what we're chasing. Nothing else. The bloodlines committed treason against a duly elected president in my country that is a republic that has been usurped with a Trojan horse, that is teaching everybody that, pedophilia is normal. From coast to coast, pedophilia is normal. Here, you want me to get even more worked up? I'll show you this. I get really worked up here and show you something extremely disgusting. You want to see what's really going on in your world, guys? I mean, let's really talk about it. Where's the article here? I know it's here somewhere. I can't find it right now because I'm so worked up. But the idea that we are having this unbelievable conversation about things that don't make any sense. Here we go. Top execs of 180 companies. Abortion is necessary to be successful in business. Do what? What? You want to know what we're talking about? This is what I'm talking about. 180 companies.
Yeah.
Now, these companies right here, Matrixxx, are these companies like some sort of side handy companies? We went through the list the other day. What you got on here?
Well,
Yelp?
I mean, we're on one of them right now, Zoom.
Ben and Jerry's?
Ben and Jerry, they must use that for flavoring, I guess.
What are we talking about here, guys?
Slack, Bloomberg, what is it? Mac, cosmetics, right, Shady? What did you say about cosmetics?
All of your cosmetics, ladies. Your cosmetics have this stuff in them. I'm telling you, they harvest Korean foreskin, okay, for cosmetics, guys. I'm not joking with you. That is not a joke. Okay, I know it's hard to hear, but that's what they're doing. Cindy Crawford will talk about it, or I think it was Cindy Crawford, or maybe it was Sandra Bullock. It was maybe Sandra Bullock. Type it in. They're talking about it. Top execs of 180 companies, abortion is necessary to be successful in business. Well, you know what, top 180 companies? You don't get that material. We got to stop this. This is what has to stop.
Who owns those top 180 companies, do you think, Shady?
Source.
Oh, you think?
The asset trust conglomerate that calls itself the non-existent global banker control owns this. And they're complaining about it to you in public.
Yep. And because they don't fear you. And, we need to end the Fed because they're all fed, but they're not going to be fed anymore because the feeders are going to come take away their gold.
The gold will no longer feed them, guys.
Yep.
The gold, the Fed, let me phrase this question properly. Who are the Fed? Who are fed? Who aren't hungry? Who are full out there? Think about that for a second, everyone. Think about the mind control, the MK Ultra that you're under to have,
Hunters have become the hunted.
And that's who we are, my friend. And that's why we're on this wall. And that's why we talk about this every day. There's no one else on YouTube talking about this every day. Look at this right here. This is in your news. Antitrust today, right here. Look at this. News articles, 12 hours, 9 hours, 14 hours. We showed this earlier this morning. I still had this up. I just wanted to show you all of the news about antitrust. And then we drop back over here to what in the world are we talking about? Well, who was talking about antitrust in the 1900s? Well, it was people in America that didn't want a central bank. And people in America that knew that communism was a central bank. They didn't not know this. They knew in 1890, Matrixxx. Did they know in 1890 that the Pacer Trust bought the Vatican in 1870?
I bet nobody knew that because I didn't know that until
I'm just saying it was in the paper. It was in the newspaper back then.
Right.
People knew about it. People were trying to track them. They were trying to find out. They knew who these people were.
Well, the Pujo Commission had a published report with the Pacers.
Yes.
It was all hidden. I mean, Nixon hid the name, expunged the name from congressional records. Nixon, guys.
Why would he do that?
Nixon.
Why would he
because
do that?
He's owned. I mean, again, when you're more afraid of the people that run you than the people that elected you, think about that, guys. They are not afraid of you. These people have been walking around. Oh, well, it's the Democrats. Oh, we'll vote Republican. Oh, it's the Republican. No, Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Republican. On and on and on and on. And we think we're helping.
It's
and
like
nothing's ever changed, guys.
It's a game of
Call
ping
me
pong.
Stupid. It is. It really is.
And everybody has got to stop watching the football game and start paying attention. I understand that we like to be entertained. I understand you don't like to think about politics, but I'm telling you, there is nothing in the world now or before that has ever been more interesting than what your president is doing today, guys. It is, I'm telling you, there's nothing out there more interesting.
1,700 arrests this week alone with one sting, Shady.
One sting.
Pedos, okay? Our president has arrested, even before the 1,700, he's arrested more pedophiles than any previous president, especially Obama, right? I mean, this is absolutely intense what's happening.
And it really is coming to your conversation right here, guys. I've dropped a couple of links to some stuff here that I'm not going to be able to actually get to here because this is, there's just so much going on. And I want you to see this. I'm showing you the history of this. I'm showing you stuff that goes back to the world that people knew existed before the world that we're currently in that is hypnotized. Guys, you're hypnotized. People in your families are hypnotized by a system. You're hypnotized by convenience. You're hypnotized by shiny things, okay? Really, we got to stop it. We have to start having an actual conversation about who and where we are on this game board. And Matrixxx and I are well aware of the attacks that are coming at us, but I'm also well aware of the new life that is the future, which the future is me and this guy red pilling the world. That's the future. It's going to be a one-on-one thing. In real time, guys. I'm not hiding. He's not hiding any longer. You guys that want to stay your keyboard warrior selves, stay your keyboard warrior selves. More power to you out there. We're bringing you
Shady, we've written the thread. We've spoken the thread. And now we're going to come out in our 3D lives out of this Matrixxx in front of real Americans.
And talk about it.
And people globally in 70 countries streamed. That want to hear the truth. Americans that want to hear the truth, that believe maybe differently than you believe, maybe differently than I believe. But you know what? Take all that out of there. I don't believe what you believe. You may not believe what I believe, but that's what America is all about. It's about freedom. And if you don't want freedom, then where we go some. Where we go,
you're going to get it.
We need freedom. And, with going out, hopefully, like if this goes well, I want you guys to watch it. I think it's going to be available for you guys to watch. I have no idea. But I want you guys to watch it and then let us know what you think. Let us know what you think.
Exactly. Give us feedback. Tell us we suck, but don't tell me that I'm wrong for wanting to talk to people who wanted me to talk about the 13 bloodline families in public and
more than 13.
Speak of the Pacers and to speak of the trust and to talk about Q. We're going to be true to Q and the president, guys. Q, the president, Admiral Rogers, General Flynn. Those are the people that we understand. We feel like we understand the comms from. We can see the Q post. We see the Q post directing us to the Y families, to the bloodline families, to the peak, the apex, the top. That's who we're going after, Matrixxx. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to be intimidated, my friend.
David Zubruck wants to go, we go most?
No, not most.
No?
No, because Matrixxx.
Do we go some, David, or all? Or, who? Press 17 if it's where we go one, we go all.
Press 17 and let's jump in here and let Lori Bang go. Bring some pain, guys.
They come from the shadows. Evil has no boundaries. A spider web. The war is real against forces of darkness. These people are sick. Now comes the pain. Dark to light.
the show, Lori Bango. I would like to instruct anyone out there, if you were following her before, maybe get back over. My mods will drop you guys a link. She was taken down from Twitter because of that video, guys. That's how insane this has gotten. That video, nothing else, no breach of terms of service or anything else. So wonderful, wonderful, amazing voice from this Anon, Lori Bango. So really would encourage you to get over there and support her and get back to following her. Lots of our followers here were following her before, and we've been playing that song for a little while. She actually has a couple other ones there on her YouTube channel. So really try to get back out and reconnect with her, because I have a sneaking suspicion that there's going to be a lot more good stuff come out from these artists that we are showcasing here. And the conversation is pretty simple, guys, and we've said it a million times. We're going to say it a million more. We have three different classifications of people. We have the traitors, we have the patriots, and we have the general uninformed public. And we are attempting to bring the patriot message to the in general uninformed public. The in general uninformed public are not your enemy. Stand down. All of you. People who think differently are not your enemy. Stand down. The traitors are in front of you. The traitors are marked. You know who the traitors are. I implore you to use your logical reasoning and point them out and start making more patriots by bringing the message to the uninformed patriots, guys. This is the place to be if you want to be mostly red-pilled Matrixx. I'm getting ready to wrap this thing up here. I'd like for you to tell these wonderful people how much you love them.
You know what? Absolutely. I love each and every one of you guys. I love the truth. I am passionate about the truth. I am doing this for me and my child and her children and her children's children and her children's children and her children's children, because I want to go down in history as someone that didn't just watch Netflix, didn't just sit there and blame and complain about other people. Actually making a difference, guys. You are the news now, guys. You are the news. You are making a difference. Thereby, all of us making a difference. Shady, you are making a difference. Look at these guys out here. You got Carly making a difference. You've got Cisco Lady Liberty. Wow, making a difference. Spud is making a difference. Jackie, Doxy Mom is making a difference. She got her own YouTube channel. Click on her YouTube channel, guys.
Great.
Mods,
please go
drop
follow
that.
her.
Kiwi Patriot, make it. Thumper, you're making a difference. Real mentoring. You are absolutely making a difference. And we are going to have that cup of coffee someday. I promise you. Anonymous Info. Guess what she's doing?
Making a difference.
She is. Andy Social is making a difference. People that are complaining, whining, and moaning are not making a difference.
They're making the same.
Let's be the plan. Be the difference. Be what you want to be. Treat people how you want to be treated, because people attacking other people are actually hurting other people, and they don't even realize it or care. And I pray for those people, and I'll be here for them when they're ready. Shady.
Man, I just really want to say I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you do. And you guys, please don't forget to get back over there and join us on Monday, 1 p.m. for the Matrixxx Groove Hour. We're here 5 days a week. And then Friday nights, we come in to do the Q Lounge Live to bring you guys some unbelievable sauce. The stuff that I'm bringing to you, no one else on YouTube or in your general conversation is talking about this stuff, guys. This is what's important. This is what the president is pointing you towards. This is what Q is pointing us towards, guys. I want to say real quick, before we wrap it up here, I want to say something that I think that everyone might need to hear, and maybe you don't, and if you don't want to hear it, that's fine, but I'm going to say it anyway. You've been trained to act out of fear. You've been taught that fear is a guide stone for you to somehow point you in a direction. Your fear is an emotional reaction to a world in which you do not understand. And I am here to try to remove it. I am here to try to get you to see that you deciding to and or being forced to and or making decisions out of any fear is not being true to yourself. Not being true to your reality. And it's not being true to your opportunity. It's actually the antithesis of that. We are put here to conquer that. You are put here to conquer your fear, not be swallowed by it. I implore you to stop being afraid of people that do not threaten you, and to start being aware of the entities that do. And let's logically discern the difference, guys. I do not walk this world with fear. I do not act and choose out of fear. And Matrixxx does not either. That is why we were chosen to bring this information. That is why we are here to shed light in the world. That is why we plan on bringing massive, unrelenting pain to the cabal, to the deep state, to any nefarious characters out there who wish us harm or who want to take away our liberty and our freedoms. Thanks everyone for coming around to this conversation tonight. And thanks everyone for coming to this wall every day and sticking your sword up and standing at my back with me against tyranny, against those who want to usurp your great nation. And worldwide anons, we're coming for you. This isn't just about America. We're coming for everybody. This means all. When I say where we go, when we go, I don't mean most. I don't mean this one. I don't mean that one. I said all, and I mean all. You're all going. We're going to take this down. It's going to take it off the backs of each of us. And so in the meantime, please, guys, feel free to post your comments in the YouTube videos below. If someone asks you a question, don't hesitate to help them out. If you can't answer them, maybe point them to one of us, because maybe we can, and it really doesn't take very long to get in a nice little red pill. And I would like for everyone to recognize that there is a clear line, and we are here to spread the notion that there is a clear line between the truth and the lie. And the lie is that they are the global elite. The truth is that you are the global elite. All of you are the global elite. The anons on this wall fighting for freedom every day, that is the elite. That is who stands apart. You are the ones to bring light to this world of darkness, guys. And with that, I'm going to jump out of here. And then don't forget to give these wonderful mods some love. Guys, give them some love out there. Mod love, however you can dish it out. Send them some love, because these guys bring some sauce. Don't they bring some sauce out there? We've got Matrixxx, everyone out there. Much love to you guys, and we will see you at 1 p.m. on the East Coast on Monday. Much love, guys. Good night.